Welcome to the Gladiator Guide, a show where I take a combat sports fighter and I give them an overall rating based on 5 career indicators, with the 5 being strength of resume, professional record, style effectiveness, damage taken, and career milestones. These 5 career indicators will help me judge the fighters overall as a collective. I will give each category a rating out of 20 overall, and once I've completed each one, the totals will be added together, ultimately to reveal said fighter's overall out of 100. To achieve this, I'll be walking you through the fighter's career, grading it as we go. After all of that's been completed, I'll add the fighter to the Gladiator game. Now that you're all caught up, if you enjoy the content, it'd mean a lot if you subscribed and dropped a like. I'm passionate about this channel, so the quality of my content will only go up from here. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get to the Gladiator Guide. George Rush St. Pierre seeked out martial arts following being bullied at a young age and quickly adapted karate full-time into his lifestyle. Being such a disciplined martial artist that was always in great shape, St. Pierre would begin competing in mixed martial arts in 2002. After going just 5-0 on the regional scene, Rush would debut in the UFC, winning his first 2 fights against Karo Parisian and Jay Heron. This would set the young GSP up for his first fight against Matt Hughes, also his first title shot in the UFC, where he would lose via armbar in 1 round. This loss would push St. Pierre to go on a 6-fight winning streak, beating Jason Mayhem, Frank Trigg, Sean Shirk, BJ Penn, and ultimately capturing the belt in a rematch with Matt Hughes. Now the champion at 170 pounds, an overconfident Rush would drop the title to Matt Serra in an upset of the century. Seriously, one of the craziest things you could ever watch. Go back and watch it if you've never seen it. Following this second loss in his career, GSP would start a legendary win streak and never lose again in the sport. This 13-fight win streak went as follows: Josh Koscheck, Matt Hughes again, Matt Serra in a rematch to become the 2-time welterweight champion. Now all of these are title defenses: John Fitch, BJ Penn, Thiago Alves, Dan Hardy, Koscheck again, Jake Shields, Carlos Condit, Nick Diaz, Johnny Hendricks, and finally his last win, capturing the middleweight championship against Hall of Famer Michael Bisping. This is arguably the greatest title run in MMA history, and George is one of only 3 fighters to retire completely on top of the game. GSP defeated 3 generations of welterweight greats, something very few fighters can say they've done. Many will argue GSP is the GOAT of MMA, and I completely see why. I wouldn't argue against that standpoint. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I completely understand it. Without further ado, let's get to the stat board and see how he stacks up against other greats that we've ranked here on the Gladiator Guide. Per usual, let's begin with GSP's professional record, which is sitting at 26 wins to 2 losses across 28 pro bouts. It's one of the best records in the sport, and Rush even avenged his only 2 losses, pushing it even closer to perfect. With all of this in consideration, GSP will get a 19 out of 20. Second on the stat board is style effectiveness, and GSP is the definition of a fighter with the most effective style outside of John Jones in my opinion. He keeps fighters at range with a perfect jab, mixes in 5-star grappling when needed, kicks like a mule, and has cardio for 5 rounds. Easily. 20 out of 20, no doubt for me on style. Next up, we've got longevity, and GSP only ever took damage against Matt Serra and visible damage against Johnny Hendricks. It's not even like he got dropped or anything in that one. It's, again, pretty much perfect, so I'll rate St. Pierre's longevity a 19 out of 20. He took on a lot of killers and didn't ever have much damage to show for it. For the second to last stat on the board, we got strength of resume. With wins over Hall of Famers like Matt Hughes twice, Bisping, Diaz, Penn, and Condit, along with all the other greats on his resume, this is another no-brainer, 20 out of 20 for me. And last but never least, we got accolades. GSP was the 2-time 170-pound UFC champion, the 185-pound champion, and holds the record for the most title defenses at 170 pounds at 11, and beat both fighters that he lost to, the only 2 fighters that he ever lost to, both Matts. It truly doesn't get much better than that. And tallied up, GSP is sitting at a 98 out of 100. The best in the series, just a point above JBJ, and that is just crazy to me. You don't see this too often. If you made it to the end of this video, you're a real one. I appreciate you and all of the support you've been giving on the series. I hope you guys enjoyed the 5 Gladiator guides I dropped this week.
I was posting them daily, and I wanted to try out a marathon week just to see, you know, how it works and see what the feedback is. So let me know what you thought. If you guys fucked with this, maybe I can keep pumping these out and do this more often. So thank you so much for the support, and stay smooth, gango.